Broadchurch we're talking about, obviously.
Oh, not the cruising thing.
Not the cruising. That'll be at the end. Any other business?
It really is a meeting.
Yeah.
Where
are the biscuits?
Would you like to lead this? Because you did go to the
I would
screening
actually,
and have a review. So I'll hand this over. I'll place it in
Okay.
Luke's capable hands.
There's a chance that you haven't been listening to the podcast since its inception, or at least not in 2013 when we started talking about it. But we were massive supporters of Broadchurch when it began in 2013. We were even lucky enough to speak to some of the stars, and writer Chris Chibnall gave us some of his time as well for a Skype chat that you maybe had fun. Pulling Quirk's dog was elusive, but we did track them down.
Yeah.
Then the second series happened. I was less convinced.
No.
In fact, angry.
No. The end of the first series happened and you weren't happy.
Well, no, that was never going to please everybody. But
That was a minor quibble.
A minor quibble with an otherwise really strong and exciting series.
Oh, okay.
Second series happened, and I was really angry that it was a thing, and Matt watched it and was sort of like, well, where's it going? Gary was ever the optimist, thinking, using his phrase, it's going somewhere. So this starts off, and what I will say, and I say this in the review at the website, thecustardtv.com, it starts off wasting no time. We meet Trish Winterman, played by Coronation Street's Julie Hesmontal, or Happy Valley's Julie Hesmontal, sitting on the police station steps because it isn't open and she didn't want to bother anyone, but she tells the guy that she's been attacked. He calls in Olivia Colman with David Tennant. Eagle-eyed viewers will perhaps remember that David Tennant left Broadchurch at the end of Series 2, but is remarkably back for this third series, which is set 3 years since the end of the last, and it starts very promisingly. There are some great attention to detail that Chris Chibnall and team took to make sure that everything about the centre that they take Julie's character to, sort out all the rape stuff, was as authentic and genuine.
It was very line
of
duty, wasn't it?
It was very line of duty. It was very killing. It was very almost documentary style.
There was very little music. It was all very sort of clinical.
I put in the review, and I'm going to stand by it and use it here. It was the quietest start to a series of Broadchurch there's ever been, and it was all the better for it. It made it all the more compelling. It's a story of, how this woman came to be in this situation. We learn later on that she attended her best friend's party, and there were 50 or 60 men, or was it 70 or 80 men?
It was 60 out of 80 were men.
Okay, 60 men at the party, so that gave Olivia and David some work to do there. I was really enthralled, I really was. But then, about half an hour in, my little heart sank. Because then we focus on Jodie Whittaker, who's conveniently becoming a sexual health advisor. What are the odds of that, really? And Mark Latimer, who has unwittingly written a book with boring newspaper editor. And then it becomes sort of soapy again, and about two of the most boring characters to ever exist in a television drama, that I lost faith slightly. As I say in the review, you can read the review online now at the website. When the focus is on Olivia, Julie and David, it is almost perfect. When it's on anybody else, it's
What about
poor,
the new characters
really
like Lenny Henry and
I think
Sarah
Lenny Henry
Parrish.
was just playing abrupt for abrupt's sake. I didn't like.
Well, you only saw him in like one bit, didn't you?
Yeah, but he annoyed.
And surely they could have had then the party in a Premier Inn rather than a bar, and he could have probably got them a discount.
Yeah, he had some sort of discount. Yeah.
The one thing as well you said in your review about this being a whodunit about a rape rather than a murder, and I completely agree.
I didn't know quite how to.
No, I think you did that well. I mean, at the moment, we've had far too many dramas based around sort of sexual abuse of like women or children. Apple Tree Yard was sort of based all around a rape, Unforgotten, of course, and the last series of Line of Duty to an extent. But I think we've had a lot of it, and it does feel quite uncomfortable. And they all dealt with it sensitively. Well, certainly, I mean, Unforgotten and Line of Duty did. I didn't carry on with Apple Tree Yard to see, but this is sort of more of a classic whodunit, as you said in your review. If it was a murder, even if it was really grisly, going back to like Agatha Christie and things like that, we desensitized to having a murder be a whodunit.
Yes, that's what I mean.
rape is much more of a personal thing. You know, it's a much more of an intimate, and it's not. It is an uncomfortable thing that is based around the rape of a woman. Even though, as you say, Julie is just brilliant. What were your thoughts?
Well, I think for once we're all in agreement. I do think the stuff with David Tennant, Olivia Colman, Jimmy Hessendala was the best bits of the show. It felt real. It felt genuine. I liked the fact that when they were kind of doing the job, they were talking, low voices. But as soon as they were on their own, it was back to this very witty, snappy dynamic.
What worries me is the fact that Beth Latimer is now going to be in most of Julie's scenes, most of Trish's scenes. And I really found her grating. I'd forgotten her sort of ooh accent. That really got on my nerves.
I don't think she'll be by her side in these next few episodes. Maybe when you get to the unveiling of who did it.
She will.
Any kind of court
she's
case or anything.
She's going to be front and centre, and there's going to be times where she's going to be in Olivia
this is a
and
character
David.
This is a character We're not.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't disagree that she's going to be important. And as you say, the unresolved differences between her and Olivia Colman's character are going to be
a complete plot device, which
absolutely
either works or doesn't.
But that's what I'm saying.
We don't trust you just to spend time with this new character. We need someone that you're comfortable with to be with this character by her side. And I just I disagree with that. I think she did such a good job in that first half an hour of making us care about Trish and everything. Yeah. And as you said in your review, there's certainly a BAFTA nomination next year for Julie. I think she's just brilliant.
I did really enjoy the first episode. I have to say, overall, when you sort of think back at after you've watched it, I would agree the first half hour was certainly better than the second half hour. As you widen the story, my hope again, and I'm prepared to have a little bit of hope, is that because of the subject matter, you'll get much more of the police procedural than the soapy stuff.
Yeah, a couple of comments under the review. Somebody says here, as soon as the Latimers appeared on screen, you could feel the potential for the series being completely sucked out of the show. Should have really stopped after the first series. I shan't be bothering with it next week. There's too much other good stuff on. I think we're all in.
Only sort of a sense of duty, really, because it's Broadchurch, and it's almost like a brand that outlasted its welcome for me. If there's anything else after watching that first episode, I don't know if I would be staying with it.
No, I'm not sure either. I think Chris Chibnall has a love for the Latimer family that the audience don't necessarily share. I don't know quite why he wants to keep putting them front and centre.
Well, you say the audience don't share. It got a decent rating last night, from what I read.
But it would have done anyway. I mean, David Tennant and Olivia Colman are the draw. You won't get a better pairing on telly than that.
Sure.
I read your review, and I think I agree with almost every point that you made and what we've just talked about there. Yeah, I mean, as you say, I think as we go on, the Latimers will be all over this and spoil what could have been a good series. And as I said before, I'm uncomfortable with sexual abuse being used as a whodunit, like a plot device.